Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time it may be for you when you're watching this. I hope you're doing well. So I just want to tell a quick story. I've mentioned, at least in a few videos before, that I am back to teaching full time. So at one point in the video, I mentioned that I was going to be moving, and the purpose of that move was to go back to teaching full time. So, if you see some of my earlier videos, or most of my earlier videos, maybe all of them with the exception of maybe 4 or 5, I am in this one room. Well, not this one room, but a different room. And since then, I've been in this room, and I've changed the angle, so now the window's behind me and whatever, right? Okay. So I just want to kind of tell a story about something that happened to me earlier this week. I am teaching math to these 18, 19, and 20-year-olds who are actually very good students, but they get bored. They don't have the attention span. They lose focus. And quite honestly, if I were sitting where they were sitting, I may be the same way. So I'll occasionally just say random things to get their attention, right? So for example, I'll be writing something on the board, and then I'll just say something to the effect of, "Yeah, guys, by the way, Biggie Smalls was overrated." Which, interesting thing with that is that even though it's a room full of people who most of them were born in the 21st century, they will react to that. Apparently, they have a little bit of an opinion about Biggie Smalls. Some of them will be like, "Phew," or someone will be like, "No," but not really a strong reaction, but just something. And a lot of them just giggle because it's random. They roll their eyes, but even rolling their eyes is something, right? Just anything to get some type of engagement. But a couple of days ago, I say something to the effect of, and I'm trying to get them to interact. I'm trying to get them to say something like, I'll be doing a problem and I'll be like, "What do you think this is?" And I always tell them, just say something. It can be wrong. This is the place to be wrong. Just participate. Let's just figure this out. Some type of engagement. So in this effort to get them to engage in the class, a lot of times they don't want to say anything because even though they may have a good idea what the answer to the question is, they're scared or they're embarrassed about looking bad in front of everybody, which to me is always funny because a lot of times none of them are really absolutely sure about the problem, and they shouldn't be embarrassed in the class, but they are, and I guess that's just a natural thing. But I say, "Hey guys, you can ask any question. You can say anything that you think it is, referring to the answer, as long as you don't say something ridiculous like hot dogs aren't sandwiches." Because guess what, guys? Hot dogs are sandwiches. I've said this before. I mentioned this in another video that hot dogs are sandwiches because they are. They are. And one kid who is just kind of leaning back and taking notes, I can see right then he's like, I got his attention. And this kid, he jumps to the front of his seat and he's like, no, that's ridiculous. And at this point, I have to stop class. I'm like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Hot dogs are not sandwiches. Hot dogs are not sandwiches because a sandwich is 2 pieces of bread with some type of meat or vegetable in between the piece of bread. Is a hot dog bun 2 pieces of bread?" You can tell that this guy felt very passionate about this and had this discussion with someone probably fairly recently, right? So then I doubled down. I'm like, not only are hot dogs sandwiches, but guess what? Burritos are sandwiches, and so are tacos. And at this point, he's just moving. He's just moving. No. And at this point, everybody else starts jumping in. Hot dogs are sandwiches, blah, blah. Some people are saying hot dogs are sandwiches. Some people are saying hot dogs aren't sandwiches. Someone's talking about the best sandwich they had. And I had this sandwich and it was good. And da-da-da. And I quite honestly, at that point, I kind of wanted to hear the story about the best sandwich he'd ever had. Because I think actually it was the best sandwich she'd ever had. Because quite honestly, I thought that may have been an interesting story. But I got my engagement. That's the thing. And from that point, for the rest of the class, they were paying attention. But I honestly think they were paying attention primarily just to, waiting for me to say something else crazy, which never really happened from that point. We just kept talking about compound and simple interest. But at least I got engagement. So guys, if you're teaching, say something crazy and off the wall, and then from that point on, they'll be paying attention, waiting for you to say something crazy and off the wall again. And at that point, you can just, while they're waiting, just sneak in a lesson about the quadratic equation. Thank you.